What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and today we're going to continue on in the XFL. I know it's a shocker to some of you, but we're going to get back into the XFL. All kidding aside, if it's your first time here, I'm glad to have you. If you're a return viewer, thanks for coming back and thanks for watching more videos. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. And remember, leave me those comments down in the comment section. You know how I love interacting with you guys down there, so go ahead, leave me those comments. And remember, too, if you leave me some good ones, I'll definitely feature those in an upcoming video. And speaking of featuring comments in an upcoming video, if you've been paying attention to my grading of the 8 XFL uniforms, you know that we got some great comments and some people were leaving some awesome stuff, and I want to share a few of those with you today. First off, we got Todd Lockett, and Todd says in regards to the New York Guardians uniform, he says the absolute best uniforms in all of sports. I'm Todd Lockett, and I approve this message. Todd, thanks for the laugh. I really appreciate that comment. When I went through and read it, I got a good chuckle out of that, so I really do appreciate you. And then Daniel Roberts, his is in regard to when I did the Tampa Bay Vipers. If you haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch that video. Go there. I'll put a link. I'll put a card up here, and you guys can check that video out. But his is in reference to me referring to the Vipers color as puke green. And Daniel says, watch all the ugliness go away should the Vipers be a winning team. Winning solves everything. If they win, you won't even notice how ugly the uniforms are. Hey, listen, Daniel, you are right on the money. Winning solves a lot of problems. I do agree. And hopefully, though, maybe we won't be seeing puke green around. I'm not saying that I'm not a Vipers fan. I'm just saying I'm not a huge fan of the colors. But hey, if they're a winning team and they start winning, people will definitely be wearing the Viper gear and representing the Vipers. I definitely can see that, and I totally agree with you, Daniel. It seems like when teams are winning, everything seems to be fine. It seems that losing is when all of the problems seem to start to happen. So, Daniel, I really do appreciate that with it. All right, guys, let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and let's get into the content for today. And today we are looking at a neat kind of a thing in the XFL. So we found out some more information this week about just how fast of a gameplay the XFL is going to have. I mean, it already looked to me like it was going to be pretty much basketball on grass, but no. We are literally going to be playing basketball with a football on the football field. It's nuts. This game is going to be that fast. I'm joking, but literally this game is going to look like probably a Big 12 college football game. I mean, it just seems to be that this is how fast this game is going to be played. We've already learned that they're going to be doing kind of a running clock type of a situation, or they're not going to be stopping the clock that much. It looks like that they're going to be kind of taking and having a 25-second clock in between plays as opposed to like a 40-second clock. And then they're also going to be doing the officiating and kind of simplifying the officiating so that they can get calls done quicker and so that they can get the plays kind of off quicker and so that there's not as much dead time between plays. So it's kind of crazy when we look at that. We also got some more information about that as well. So we found out that the teams are going to have radios in their helmets, which is nothing new, and it's something that they already use in the NFL. But it's usually just the quarterback's helmet that gets a radio with that. But now we're actually getting so they're giving, let's see here, they're giving 15 players on the offense, they're giving them headsets in their helmets, and then they're also giving 2 defensive players. So what that's doing is it's giving the coaches more ability to call in plays quicker to their team so that they can get up and get back to the line of scrimmage and run more plays, which I think is huge. I think that's a great thing. Listen, I love watching fast-paced football. You will catch me, if I hadn't watched a game and I want to watch a game, you will catch me watching a game. If it's on YouTube, I might even watch it at 1.5 times just so that I can see things quicker. I love it when the NFL, like on the NFL Network, if you want to watch like a replay and they cut out all the dead time in between plays. Oh, I love that. And it actually shows you just how much time they're actually playing on the field, which is kind of crazy just how much it condenses it down. But doing this, I think, is going to really, really help the game and really help them to keep things moving and flowing. And I think that it's a neat idea. So what's going to happen is they got 15 players on offense. So the guys on the offense are, the 11 starters are going to get it, and then 4 other skill position players are going to get it as well. The idea is that the guys that are going to be rotating in plays and that. So what's going to happen is that as soon as the play's done, they're going to be able to radio in the next play so that each one of the offensive starters can hear the play, they can run no huddle, and they can go ahead and line up and go, which I think is great. The other thing is so that the defense isn't at such a disadvantage, they're giving 2 defensive players on the field headsets. They're going to be given pretty much the Mike linebacker and then like one of the safeties or something in the deep, the defensive backfield. So the idea is usually the Mike linebacker kind of, calls everything for the linebackers and the defensive line. And then usually one of the safeties is usually calling the plays for the back and the defensive backs and that. And so that gives them an opportunity as well to get their stuff in quickly and get set up and get lined up for the next play. I think that this is fantastic. I really like the idea. I think it's really going to add to more fast-paced football, and it's really going to be something that's going to be neat to see. And it's really going to add to just kind of the whole experience. So the XFL is not going to be your daddy's old school style of football. It's not going to be, you run it for 3 yards, you get lined up, you take your time, you pound. It's not going to be that way. It's going to be a much more fast-paced game. And the fact of the matter is they're going to have a running clock and they're going to be having to do a play every 25 seconds. They're going to need to get stuff in quickly. And so for them to do that and to keep things on pace and that, because actually what's going to happen is that you're going to notice that they're going to be getting probably like somewhere in between like pro numbers and college numbers is what's going to happen here. It's going to be a faster paced game, but they're gonna, because they're making them run things faster, they're gonna actually get more plays off to where the whole running clock thing and having less plays is going to be negated by the shorter play clock. So it's going to be kind of a give and take here, but the guys are going to be flying around the football. You're going to see high-scoring games. And the other thing is guys are going to get tired. There's just no way around that. They're running around way too much. The fact of the matter is they're not going to get that much time to rest. I mean, these big boys on the line are going to get tired quickly to where it'll be interesting to see just how they hold up, because some of the guys that are probably not in as good of shape are going to have a really hard time, especially early on in the season, having to keep up with just how fast the offense is if they're a defensive lineman like a defensive tackle, or the offensive line, if they're constantly running and out there in a shootout. So I think it does 2 things here. One, it's really, really building in exciting football, fast-paced football to where, you only have 25 seconds, to where these kind of possessions are going to be shorter amounts of time, to where it's going to be a quicker back and forth because you just have to. The other thing is that because of that as well, you're going to get more scoring because of these possessions. And as time goes on, I think that you're going to get more scoring because the guys are going to be tired, or more tired as the game goes on and on. So I think that that's really going to be a neat thing to see, and how it all transpires. and kind of how it morphs and things like that. I don't think that you're gonna, that we're gonna see just everything's gonna be just passing. I don't see that happening. But I think that your power running is going to be a different style of power running. I still think that they'll be able to do some power running football games, and I think that there will be some power running football teams in the XFL, but I think that it's going to look differently. It's not going to be, like I said before, that traditional old school style of pounding them into the ground. I think it's going to be set up slightly different, going to be a little bit more shifting and things like that, just because you can't run the clock down that much with it. So anyways, I found it fascinating, and again, it's really showing that the XFL has thought about the process. They understand, and they've spent time in trying to develop what they're doing, and they're putting things in place not to hinder the game, but to actually amplify what they're wanting to really highlight, and to really what they're wanting to put out there and accentuate as their style of football. That's what they're really trying to do here. And you can definitely see that they've spent the time and the energy into getting it right and to putting things in place so that it doesn't look weird. It doesn't feel weird. It feels like football. It is football, but yet they've made kind of the tweaks to really cater towards what they're doing. So it'll be interesting to see, the pieces that fall in place throughout all of the season. So just my thoughts on that. And again, I want to go ahead now and I want to take some time because I've had already many of you guys ask me this question, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to dive into it a little bit today, and hopefully down the road here you guys will get an answer to it. So let's not waste any more time. And Nerd Squad, he left me this question. He said, "Hey, I just subscribed and I'm curious he says, who's your favorite team is, or what is your favorite team?" I've had other people ask me, who are you rooting for? And the answer really is right now, I don't know. I haven't really fallen in love with any of the teams yet. There are teams that are intriguing to me for one reason or another, whether it be DC. I like kind of how their looks are. They're not my favorite, but I'm a huge Cardale Jones fan. I'm a Buckeyes fan, and I love my Buckeyes, and so kind of having that ties there in DC. The fact of the matter is, I'm 7 hours away from the closest team to me, so I would have to drive at least 7 hours to go to see any of the XFL games. So it's hard for me to get to any one of the games. So I really don't feel like there's a team that's close enough to me that I could root for. The Battlehawks are interesting to me. They really have a neat following there in St. Louis, and I kind of like what they're doing there. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, so kind of that Dallas kind of a thing. There is some things there with Dallas that I'm kind of, intrigued by them, and I do kind of like what Dallas is doing. I like the swagger that's down there in Dallas, and me being, a Dallas fan already. That would kind of be a natural place for me. And then also, too, looking at the Dragons, I really like the Dragons. The whole look and everything of the Dragons is probably my favorite uniform overall. So, yeah, the Dragons are another team. I really like the overall, just the branding, the whole look, the feel, the uniforms, the helmets, everything to do with the Seattle Dragons. I really like the looks of them, and I find them really, really interesting. And also too, LA is kind of an interesting team to me. Not a huge fan of all of their kind of branding and stuff, but it's kind of cool to get some interaction from some of these teams and that with it too. So it's kind of like, that's kind of, I don't know if you want to say kind of leaning me one way or another, just the teams that do interact with you as a fan and as somebody who's, keeping up with and following the league, to see the teams that are kind of responding to you. to your comments, to your tweets and things of that nature. So that's cool too. So that kind of is starting to lean me one way or another with that too. But really, in all honesty, guys, I just don't know yet. It's really tough, and some people want me to just pick a team, Tyler, just pick a team. And it's kind of hard because I'm like, well, what if I pick a team and then I start watching them play football and I'm like, I'm supposed to be rooting for these guys, but I like what these guys are doing, and these guys kind of play football that I like, and this is kind of my thing, but I'm supposed to be rooting, and then if I change my mind, what do I do then? And I don't know. It's kind of one of those things to where it's like, it's a big decision, and there really isn't a team that's in my area to where I can say, this is my team. Come hell or high water, this is what we're going to do. This is who we're going to vote, who we're going to root for. And we're just going to sit there in the stands and we're going to love it. And we're going to be fans no matter what, even if we get killed every game and have to wear a bag over our head, because that's what we do. There just isn't a team like that for me. So it's kind of interesting. We got all these new first-time things. Usually, especially with like the NFL or college football, a lot of times you're kind of born into something, or it's because you decide to go to a school there, and so you become a fan there. Whereas this is all brand new, so there's no built-in alliances. There isn't nothing with it there. So it really is kind of a neat thing to where I just really can't tell you right now. I will say though, I will pick a team hopefully soon. And you guys will definitely be the first ones to know. All right. Well, I know that you guys are busy, and I know that I'm busy, so let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.